Okay. Alright, I've cleaned the gasket from around the transmission pan to the best of my abilities. And what I'm going to do now, I haven't taken off the filters yet, but what I decided to do, when you see that leaky fluid, is take off, you see these hoses right here, these metal hoses that's holding the bypass filter. Well, two of these goes into the transmission. This one is going in, this one is bringing fluid out to the cooler, right? And I remember I told you I got a Moshi, I got a what do you call it, Moshibi, however you pronounce it. I've got a wait a minute, the box is over there. I've got a Mishi motor bypass, and this one is supposed to keep it cooler. If you can see it, that's the bypass that I'm gonna put on. That's supposed to help keep the fluid cooler as well, which is a great thing. The cooler your transmission runs, the better, right? Better for the transmission. So these hoses here, these metal hoses, they're held in. They go into the transmission side of the transmission, and they have this little pin, right? This little pin, and that's what locks it in. It pushes in a little hole, and you slide this pin in, and it locks the holes in there. So to get that out, all you need is this little picket here, and you take your time with it, and you just get it up under there and pull it out, and then you can pop the hose out. So easy, simple. And the same thing here with these, but I'm gonna wait to take these out because this is closer to my face, and when I take these out, I know fluid is gonna come out from here as well. So I'm gonna get the two on the transmission first. I've already got one out, that's the one that's leaking here. And now I'm gonna take this pin and take my time and get it up under this other clamp, this locking clamp. If I can see it. Okay, I can see it. So I'm just gonna take my time, try to get it up under that clamp, and just pull it out. I can get it up under there. Can't find a. Let me slide the clamp around. Maybe if I. There we go. Okay. So I got that clamp loose. Come on. Alright. See, I got this clamp out. I'm going to reuse these, so you got to make sure you keep them where you can find them. And I'm going to pull this hose out too. Let me make sure I've got enough coverage so fluid doesn't spill up on my face. I can get a good grip on it. That one up there. Where's my flathead? I can't really get a good grip on that one up there. So I'm going to take my flathead screwdriver and see if I can use that to just pry it out a little bit for me. I don't think I have enough clearance in here for that. I certainly do not. So, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and loosen these. Here. It's coming out. It's coming out. Okay, I'll take these out. And then that way I'll have the bypass in my hand. So these have the same little brackets. little metal locking brackets. And this just slides out. Come on. I don't want to get this thing on my face. Just being a pain in the butt. Wait a minute. Yeah. Pop this one back here. And yeah. Let me pop this one back in and try to get that top one out first so that fluid can stop. Okay. There you go. Woo, woo. What I feared the most. It landed right on the top of my lip. Okay, now I got the top one out. And I got both of them free. See how they move freely now? So now I can pull these out freely. Come on, you little stink booger. Oh, the thing I feared greatly. The fluid. Okay. Right on me. That's what I didn't want to happen. But it's okay. I'm still alive to tell the story. Oh, guys, look at this magnet. I totally forgot about this. It fell. Remember the magnet that was in the transmission pan? Gotta clean this thing up so that I definitely don't want to forget to put it in my new pan. So let me sit this off to the side where I remember it. And I know I had a piece of napkin. Oh, I like to keep tissue. Blue shop towels. Oh. These blue shop towels come in handy. All right, let me pull this bypass valve all the way out. Come on, you little no manners thing, you little no manners thing. There we go. You're out of there. Simple as that. Now, what I would do is, I have some I'll take these loose here. I'll take a bolt. I'll take my plier, and I'm gonna loosen this here. You gotta unscrew it out of this bypass, and put it into the new bypass. Put these hoses into the new bypass, right? Okay, people of God. So I went to search for me a socket that could fit this T-socket right here. These are what's called T-sockets. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if this old camera does the thing justice. Oh, maybe I messed the camera up. Maybe I blurred the camera up. My bad. Let me see if I got a piece of tissue. Is that better? Okay. I cleaned the camera. You see better now? Let me show you the T-bolt. Oh, well, no, I think I was showing you the socket. What did I do with it? Okay. This is what a T-socket looks like right here. You see the front of that? Still don't really do it justice. But that's a T-sock. You can go in your local parts store and look for T-sockets. You'll see they're shaped differently. But anyway, where's my other glove? Let me get this stuff off. It's getting pretty warm out y'all. I'll start earlier in the morning. I'll start earlier, so I'm not really in no rush. I'll take my time and do everything. Whatever I don't get done today, get done tomorrow. But I'll be finished with this today, and fuel filters and oil. That's definitely can get done today. Simple stuff, but I take my time with this transmission. And the gasket, when I put the gasket on, it's got to take 24 hours to cure. So I'll tighten it down. But I'm gonna let it cure tomorrow. I'll just put the bolts in and tighten it down, and then tomorrow I will torque it down after it sits for 24 hours. I'll put it on, torque it down, and then let it cure, and then tomorrow I'll fill it with fluid. Alright, so this is the spin-on filter, and it just pops off of here. See, it still got fluid in there, and there's a gasket up there that needs to come out. This is how the filter looks. 68 RFE filter, the flat one. I think the 48 RFE uses the bigger one, thicker one. And it's not as a stronger transmission as this one. But yeah, this is the filter, and it is no more use. So I'm gonna put that there. That's the flat filter. And then here's the spin-on filter. Now you got to be careful with this spin-on filter because it's not that strong. I'm gonna use this to take it off, right? But when I take it off, I'm gonna try not to apply too much pressure because you can bend the filter. But I don't really care if this one gets bent. Is when I'm putting my other one, the new one on, because it's not a strong filter. So when you're taking it off, you just want to not squeeze the can too much, which sometimes it's hard if it's tight, because even this little squeeze here is already starting to bend, which I think is because the can may be exposed to so much heat, the aluminum or whatever, maybe weaken it. I don't know, but I know it's not that strong, so you don't want to put too much pressure, which is bending already, even though I'm not putting that much pressure. See, I put a little bit of pressure, but it's still bending, so not a lot though. And now I just got it loose so I can finish tightening it by hand. And it's gonna leak more. You see, it's already started to leak. People of God, people of God. So with the transmission, I had a little running around to do because the filter that it calls for, it doesn't fit. Because what I thought, the metal piece that I thought that they replaced the plastic, I actually just put my hand on it and spinned it, and it's actually not replaced. That's still the plastic. It's just metal looking, makes it look like it's not plastic. So I have the bolt to upgrade, but however, the filter that they originally installed does not match with the original manufacturer's filter, right? So we have got to figure that out tomorrow. I called the company that remanufactured the transmission. They're not exactly sure what they did. So they're saying that they will have to call me back in the morning, and they will possibly send me. I was getting nervous. I was getting nervous because this oil thing looked like it was filling up, baby. I was like, why the oil ain't going down? But so they're saying that they will have to send me another filter. People of God, people of God, people of God. When I tell you, It's 8 o'clock. Huh. When I tell you that, excuse me, I'm not really physically tired, but mentally. Okay. Let me see, recap. From the video I shared earlier, I started this morning, I was servicing the 68 RFE transmission. Okay. Once I got all the stuff down, ready to replace the filters or whatever, loosened the flat filter, I got onto that spin-on filter, right? And I don't know if I show it in here. I don't know where you guys saw me take the spin-on filter down and then try to put the new one up. Okay, so let me explain, just in case somebody needs to know this. I'm going to explain everything in case anybody needs to know this to save yourself from the hassle or uncertainty. So, in the 68 RFE transmission, the original one comes like this, right? But what they're doing now is this is the filter, the spin-on filter that was in the remanufactured transmission, the new one that I have on. And remember, in the previous video, I mentioned that there was a plastic bolt up there, and I was going to replace it with the metal bolt, because over time what happens is that with all the heat, the transmission temperatures run really high, from 168 to 170, 180, Well, I dropped this outside. So I was showing in the previous video that I was happy that they'd already replaced the spin-on filter with the metal one. Looks can be deceiving. When I realized that actually was not the metal filter, they hadn't replaced the plastic screw up there. That was still plastic. But what made me realize that is, this was the filter originally that they had on there. So when I unscrewed it off of that, what looked like the metal piece, when I unscrewed this off of there, and then I got the new filter like this. This is how the new filter comes, with this bracket in here. So when I go screw this on the bolt up there, boom, it doesn't fit, right? So I'm thinking now, like, whoa, this doesn't fit, but it's the same part number. You can barely see it on here, but it's the exact same part number, Mopar part number. So then I went and I took my hand to just see if I could move that screw. I was like, maybe they put the screw in backwards. Well, no, I was able to unscrew it, and it's the plastic screw. So they just put a one that looks silver. It looks metal. Looks like it fits flush with the whole housing, but it is plastic. So boom, that's not going to be a problem. However, this doesn't fit. So something's not right? Very weird. So I called up the manufacturer who made it. I said, listen, I got this problem. I got the same part numbers. There's a screw inside the original one. Did you guys take the screw out? She's like, no, it comes without a screw. She gives me another part number, right? Part number she gives me, this part number that this came in, the box that this came in. As you can see, this is the number on the filter. But they're the same thing. They're interchangeable. They upgraded. What happened was, they are making the filters, they're sending the filters out like this. So without this, when I had my old transmission some years ago and I serviced it, I got a filter that looked just like this. So now what they're doing, they're sending the filters out with this little bolt here in the center, which I don't know why, because even though I took that plastic housing out and I went to screw it in, see if this would fit, it screws in, but it doesn't go on properly. And you can see where it even bent the threads here. So, long story short, I'm going to finish tomorrow. I'm going to replace the plastic screw with this one. So let me put this back in its casing. And you can, if anybody has a 68 RFE transmission, it's very good to replace the plastic screw that comes in there with the metal screw, because over time that plastic wears out. It could drop the canister and poof, your transmission is a catastrophic, right? So replace the plastic screw. Now, what are we going to do about the filter? Because this still doesn't have this opening to fit in there. So I had to leave, go and find, this is a T. This is what you call a T hex head, right? 6-point hex head. So I had to go find a T socket, which I did. I don't have it near me, but I found a T socket, put it in here. I couldn't turn it because I couldn't get a grip. So I had to go find a thing that would fit on here. And I went to my favorite store, Harbor Freight. I had one that would fit, but when I put pressure, it kept slipping. So I'm like, oh my goodness. Went to other part stores, couldn't get it. Finally, one of the workers at O'Reilly's, who's very, you know how some guys are just like a nerdy type guy, but they know something about every single thing. Those are good friends to have, by the way. But he was able to give me the filter for this. I put it on. I still couldn't get the thing off because it wasn't working for me. So he comes over, he puts his power on it, his manpower on it, and boom, he's able to twist it and get this thing, booyah, out for me. So I owe him lunch or dinner one day, right? So by the time I got all this together, now you see I've got the opening, right? T25 is what this needs. If anybody runs into this issue, they are coming stock like this from the manufacturer with this. And this, technically, this is not even metal. This is still plastic. You see what I'm saying? So they're coming like this, but a T25 socket, you can remove it with the T25 socket and a filter wrench that fits this, but you got to put your manpower on it, and your girl don't have that type of power. All right, so you men will be able to do it just fine, but you got to remove this plastic screw, and ta-da, it will fit perfectly with the metal screw, and bada boom bada bing. So anyway, I will get back to this in the morning, and what I'm gonna do today, I am pretty much done for tonight, but I'm gonna show you the replacement pan so I don't have a messy job next time I have to service this thing. I'm gonna show you the replacement pan. I'm talking about plan. Oh Lord, this thing is leaking out of here. So this is the original bypass valve that I was saying I was going to replace, right? So I'm going to I've already loosened the top. I should have loosened it while it was on the truck, but I've got 2 wrenches, so I can put 1 wrench on the bolt and 1 wrench on this, and I'll just loosen the bottom. I've already loosened the top. But the bypass valve that I'm going to replace with, because sometimes there's no way to service these, and these can get clogged up and you'll never know. And this can also stop your fluid from traveling through and cause failure of your transmission. So I'm going to replace this with Mishimoto. It's $100, but it's said to, it's metal, is different, it's heavier, and it's said to keep it cooler, keep the fluid cooler when it's going back and forth. And you can service this. You can loosen this. You can service this, clean this whenever you need to. This one, you can't, you see? There's no way you can service this. There's no way to tell when this is going bad and this is stopped. So you want to replace your stock. It'll be a wise thing to replace your stock um, bypass valve as soon as possible. Anyway, I'm kind of getting my mental. I need to take a break. I need to take a break, baby. I'm gonna fry me some fishing grits for dinner. Yep, I'm gonna finally eat something. And anyway, this is the pan that I was telling you guys about, right? It's the exact same size. Now you can also get, there's also a different type of pan. It's I forgot the manufacturer, Mag or something like that. It's bigger where you can add more fluid, which also definitely keeps it cooler, greater, more fluid, less change intervals, and it has little fins which keeps the fluid cool as well. So that's definitely something that you can also upgrade to. I wouldn't be opposed to upgrading to that sometimes in the future. But I'm going to try out the Mishimoto thing first. But yeah, this pan has a bolt on it. So the next time your girl is ready to replace the fluid, it will not be messy. I can drain all the fluid out, just like I'm draining the oil. And then loosen the bolts and go from there. And when I get ready to put this back together, I'll put sealant for the gasket. I'll go all around here and put gasket sealant all around the bolts, inside and out. And I will put this back on, torque up the bolts, let it cure for 24 hours. And see, I wanted to do that today and then finish tomorrow, but oh well, things happen, delays happen. And this is the magnet that I was showing you guys. You see the magnet catches all the metal and the gears and everything rubbing against each other. It sheds little small particles and they catch onto the magnet, right? So that they don't float through your fluid. Yep. So that stays in there. It's a strong magnet too. And that's that, people of God. So tomorrow I've got the oil draining as well outside. So that'll be, so tomorrow all I have to do is put the oil bolt back on, take the old filter off, because I didn't replace the filter, take the old filter off, put the new filter on, and fill the engine up with oil. Then now I've got that out of the way. And I can, excuse me, get onto this thing. Yeah, I'll get onto this thing. I'll probably put this back in place first so that it has more time to for the gasket to seal. You definitely want to make sure the gasket is sealed really, really good before you fill it up with fluid and go driving and all that. So anyway, that's the end of my day. I hope you all had a wonderful day. If nobody told you that they loved you today, I'm telling you, I love you. You are the light of the world. Don't ever let your light grow dark. You got to keep shining bright. And we remember what Philippians 4 and 13 says. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. It did not say we could do some. It did not say we could do half. It did not say we could do partially. We could do, we might can do, we maybe can do. No, it says we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So therefore, if we put it in our mind, we pray for strength, for courage, for guidance, then everything will work out. And when we need help along the way, God will put angels in our path, just like the angel that helped me at the part store. The guy there that helped me get this thing out of there, right? So, you see, when God be for you, who can be against you? And it's good that we learn how to be self-sufficient because it's getting crazy out here. Where folk is doing all kind of stuff, triple charging folk. Especially they try to take advantage of us women because they know we don't really know too much. That's why we have to learn, you know. We have to learn what we don't know so they can't hustle us, you know. I have been taken advantage of by the dealers, you know, several times. like 3 times. Twice. Once I had to. The first time, I presented paperwork that I was, going to take legal action because of what they did. They messed things up and then tried to lie about it. But the general manager stepped in, stopped that, made it right. The second time I had issues, they ended up making it right, but it was a process because they don't want to take ownership when they mess something up, And the third time I actually had to take legal action, and this was 3 different dealerships, so go to one, they disappoint you, go to another, and then you find out they disappoint you, go to another, and then you find out they disappoint you, and they did not want to take ownership, so we had to had to take legal action. And once I presented all of my facts and evidence to the judge, and he examined everything, he ruled in my favor. The judge said he never saw a woman come in. He never saw a woman come in there who was knowledgeable and knowing all of that stuff. But it's unfortunate that it had to reach that situation, but you gotta learn something. If you don't have knowledge, Malcolm X said knowledge is power, and it really is. It's power, baby. Knowledge is power. So anyway, I do what I have to do because I have to, not always because I want to and I feel like it. But you can't be falling for the bananas in the tailpipe. All right, people of God, have a blessed night. I love you. Sleep tight. And we know that the blood of Jesus is the only blood that has some power. All right, y'all have a blessed night.